Hey there, Jim Gavigan, Industrial Insight. Today is Tuesday, September 23rd. A little bit longer than 2 minutes on Tuesday today, I'm afraid, but not too much. So, many of you may have seen some stuff that we've launched. It's just more of a little catchphrase, just trying to have a little fun with some things. But, we posted on LinkedIn on our company page. It's not just data, it's your or data, it's your datitude. So a little play on the word attitude, right? And so, like, what is that? So, it's basically how does a company or a plant look at how to use their data, right? And most of them don't use it very effectively. That's kind of our theory, and I think that's pretty easy to prove. One of the things we're thinking about, we had a Teams meeting about this yesterday, and a meeting last week with our fractional CFO, Adam Reynolds. We kind of talked about what can we do with this potentially, right? And so one of the things that we talked about was potentially doing an assessment for people, paid assessment, or maybe there's a free assessment on the website that kind of helps us figure out if a paid assessment, is warranted, right? So, and at the end of it, we give you a Datatude Score. And so one of the things we're kind of thinking about is, so since AI is all the rage, which I have some of my opinions on that. I've shared a few of them. I think a lot of people are chasing fool's gold, but that's neither here nor there. There's definitely pockets where that's going to be a very effective technology, and then there's going to be pockets where it's going to be an absolute miserable failure. And we're going to see the Hindenburg just come burning down in flames right in front of us, I think. But I think what has to happen, if you even think about trying to work with artificial intelligence or any type of advanced analytic tool, you have to have a foundation in place. And I see a lot of these companies that they just get all infatuated with AI, and they're like, that's what we want to go do. They're going to go spend $1 bajillion on it. And they don't really get anything out of it because, as I equated to my team, they're building a straw hut on a beach, and it's about to be hurricane season, right? There's just no way to win. They just don't have the fundamentals in place. They don't have the foundational elements. They're not picking the right structural elements. They're just going to fail. And so I actually just bought and downloaded this book. Our good friend Jeff Nepper wrote the foreword for it. So I'm going to read that. Kind of skimmed a sample of it, and Ryan really advocates building a common data model. It's kind of like advocating building a digital twin, in my opinion, right? Where do you go build it? Because everybody says they have a digital twin, but it's really not. So I'm going to go read the book, right? Because I think that actually is something that is necessary. You have to have a common data model. Because if you're not thinking about doing something like that, I'm going to tell you kind of what I think is a funny story, as I am a storyteller. I remember way back in my controls days, this was one of the first service calls that I ever went on, and I was troubleshooting a Modicon 484. I mean, this was a PLC that was literally as big as like me waist. I'm 5'8", chest up, like from my waist to my head was just the processor unit, right? And I had a portable, we called it a luggable, programming terminal. This thing probably weighed 50 pounds. It was called a P190. I lugged this thing probably half a mile back to the back of this plant. It was an aerosol plant. They were making like the Hart's 2-in-1 flea and tick sprays on this line at this particular time. And they had shut the power off. 484 took a dump. So I'll never forget, I asked the guy, I said, well, do you have the programming tape? Or the program tape? These things, we had little tapes that we had to plug into this P190 to reload the program. Very antiquated technology, even in 1995, 1996, right? Because we were doing stuff with laptops then, downloading by a serial cable. Anyway, he gave me this like deer in headlight stare. Program tape? What do you mean? Okay, well that's not good. Well, do you have the program printed out, and I can just figure out how to punch it back in? No. Oh, this is no bueno. So I made a call to the office, and we ended up replacing it with a little Modicon brick PLC about this big. I think it was like 12 in, 8 out or something like that. It was a small PLC, did everything they want to do. And we put a little like $150 cheap HMI, like 2-line, display on it. It was made from a company called Panel Tech, and we used to put them on a lot of panels just because it was like a cheap little operator interface. And Fred, my boss, came out. He was going to reprogram it. I was not of the skill. I'd been in the business like 2 months at this time, right? And so I'll never forget, we were dealing with this guy named Walter, right? He was the maintenance manager. And so what happens is Fred says, well, do you want to be able to store recipes? Like, you make different products on this line. Do you want to be able to store the coarse and fine fill set points for all these different recipes? He's like, oh yeah, that'd be great. And so Fred's kind of talking him through all this, and he's like, and it was kind of almost like the Randy Macho Man Savage, if you guys have ever seen that wrestling. He's, oh yeah, give me some of that Star Trek, I won't say it, stuff, man. It was everything I could do not to laugh, right? This dude like turns into Randy Macho Man Savage because he's got some little piece of technology, right? To me, that's what I feel like a lot of CXOs are, is, oh, give me some of that AI stuff, man. And they don't even really know what they're asking for, but they're excited about it. So what we're thinking about is this Datatude Score thing. What do you guys think ought to be in that? Like, what should we assess? We've got our ideas. What are some key things you think a plant or a company should have to be AI or advanced analytic ready? Curious to know your thoughts.